Hey, peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Not gonna hold you up too long here. Uh, I appreciate finding smart content, well done content, um, things that just work for me. A lot. If you saw the title, you know what I'm getting ready to get into. But I've said this before. I'm an older hip hop fan. And sometimes, I miss the days where dudes just rapped. Old freestyle rap, just observations, introspections or introspection, sharing, storytelling, just older school rap. It works for me. Uh, I'm not saying get rid of all of the edgier stuff, the street stuff. I'm not saying that. Just for me and my preferences, I like some balance. So checking out a cat like your old Droog and this new project entirely produced by Canada's Nicholas Craven, YOD Wave or Yachty Wave. I don't know how he wants it to be said, but I really enjoy this EP, and it's only 7 tracks. It's short. None of the songs are longer than 3 minutes, except for which I think is the cornerstone of the project. It came out a couple of weeks ago. I closed some stuff on here that I had open. It's new. It's relatively new. And also, man, shout out to Yachty, your old Drew. I don't know if he officially going to acronym, but I talked about this project that dropped at the end of November. Spacebar was another one that I spent a lot of time with on my bike rides, my cycling. Um, and I really enjoyed that record, and it really put Droog back on my radar. I was familiar with the Wolf on Wall Street. Is that the name of the project with him and the guy Fahim? And the Wolf on Wall Street Part Two. Your old Droog has been out here working, and I respect the craft, and I respect the work ethic, and the growth in the project. So that's two things right there that really my two main asterisks here that I wrote down. My two major notes is just the growth from project to project, getting better at his craft in terms of crafting. Excuse me, in terms of crafting albums or EPs such as this. Working with the right producers, making quality songs. He doesn't make club joints um, and whatnot. Another thing, my other main thing here was I really appreciate here where I keep slipping up with the West. Nicholas Craven really shows up as a featured artist because with the quality of the production. It's really a two-man project between your old Drew and Nicholas Craven. I respect the production on here, and I think what Nicholas has provided uh in a mature artistically speaking, in a mature way. Your old Drew, in my opinion, makes the perfect choice in marrying up his subject matter to the emotional tone of the track. So let's get to it. It jumps off with Fella Cruti. I think that's a play on the multi instrumentalist or jazz cat Fela Kuti. I could have looked that up, but I think that's a play on that. But it gets started with that Fela Kuti, and it's only 2.5 minutes long. One of my favorite, maybe in my top 3. Like I said, there's only 7 tracks on here. Might be in my top two. I really like Fella Crudy, and it really gets the project going with the right energy, in my opinion. Again, with your old Droog, man, he's just talking about what's going on in the world in between each project, what he experiences, what he observes, and brings it into his projects. Um, I think he's a thoughtful MC. He's a rapper's rapper. Never too animated. Um, just kind of heavy on the substance and the thoughts. He gets in some entendres here and there, some double entendres. In here, he says something. He got a line about if they got bars. Then his last call. One of my favorite throughout the whole album is this thing about something lapse of judgment. If your mind's racing, lapse, LAPSE, but LAPS and racing, mind racing. I like that one. And then he speaks to me personally in here when he says something like this is for the people that check their email in the club. Now, maybe he's talking about an industry person, but I'm a dude who does a lot through email. I'm always trying to get guests and stuff, and so I'm constantly in my email. That's kind of I like to communicate through email and texts and whatnot, unless we really got to talk and we really collaborating on something. When I'm listening to it as I'm riding, when I first checked this joint out, that line spoke exactly to me. Like, damn. Another he has on here, he has another line in there about something Jimmy flipped guitar or something. And I don't know if you've heard this, and I don't even know if the person that told me this was maybe I saw it during a documentary, but Jimi Hendrix was left-handed, I believe, and just flipped a right-handed guitar upside down to play it. I hope I'm not getting him confused with Curtis Mayfield, because I think not Curtis Mayfield. Damn, I'm all yeah, Curtis Mayfield. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, Curtis Mayfield. I was right. I was right. Maybe it's both of them. I thought I heard that on a documentary or something that Jimi Hendrix just played his guitar, a right-handed guitar, but he was left-handed. So I like that he throws in little historical, factoids and whatnot, random here, how he needs to use them to add substance to his lyrics. He also says some line on there about a lot of cats don't get to do like Trevor Noah don't get to do a daily show. Um, he flips some things around on there. That's one of my favorite tracks. Some piano, I think, is on that one. A dope track from Craven. Track 2, Scooby Snacks featuring Mac Homie. Mac Homie really only does the chorus on here, no verse. 2 minutes and 45 seconds on this one. He has a bar in there about reminding people, very down to earth and realistic. Things very practical, in my opinion. Success and failure is intertwined. He's talking about business, which he talks about throughout these 7 songs. He has a line in here about bust heads like a statue. If you think of the Hall of Fame ceremonies, the bust is a head, which is part of a statue. So another double entendre right there. Track 3, 500, my favorite joint on here. The beat is phenomenal for me. It's simple, but it really works. It's kind of a sad, melancholy beat, or whatever you want to go. A sad track. This one, like I said, you can tell this is the flagship, the cornerstone of this album. Is 3 minutes and 41 seconds long. It has 3 verses, and it's very autobiographical. He's talking about coming of age, uh, and how miserable he was before he figured out his thing. I think this is great sharing. A lot of people are going through this stuff. A lot of people dealing with failure, rejection, not being able to benefit from their gift or whatever. And he was in that lane. Say he dropped out of school in the 9th grade and it came back with a line like no noticeable skills and real way to find my trade. I like that. I love this record. Yeah, I had on my note was a really sad story coming of age, but with the triumph of the end, because he persevered. Times he quit. He wanted to say F it, but he dusted himself off, got back in there and tried it again. And and he broke through. And I was listening maybe 6, 7 years ago. Haven't always stayed real. But like I said, I did get back on board with Spacebar, the Wolf on Wall Street project, and I've heard him here and there, and on a bunch of compilation albums. So I never gave up on the dude, but I think he's really rounding into his own artist at this point. He also had another line, very poignant, some sage advice. Don't rush to the elevator. Got to take the steps sometimes. Sometimes you got to take the steps. I'm in the midst of that myself, taking the steps. The fourth track, style, game, blouses. He says something here about something. My computer never had no mouse or something. I never had the right clicks. A little creativity. Uh, Comes at the end of the song, has a line about something you like the dream team, but you or the dream team, but you Christian late sports, uh, talking greasy like a mouthful of chips. Something you probably thought a Minority Whip was a hoopty. Like I said, man, he's just a lyricist writer. Now we all know the stigma with him has always been that he sounds so much like Nas. And even yesterday while I was riding, I was like, nah, I don't sound like Nas. And I listened to it with wind blowing in my damn face, and I'm like, yeah, he still does sound like Nas. He does. And he sounds like an earlier period of Nas's life and whatnot. But I don't hold it against the guy. He's still his own artist. Purple Rain Freestyles, it's another one that I have highlighted for a dope record. Solid track from Craven. Track 5 here, Black and Red Hirachis, featuring his partner crime, Fahim the God. Fahim the God is the one that actually has the bicycling reference with somewhere on here. He says, I just keep pedaling. This one isn't one of my favorite records on here, but it works. It's 2.5 minutes long. It's okay. This track, Lost Love, is kind of a sleeper, but another very sad, or the track from Craven sounds like a brother getting ready, or a cat getting ready to talk about a relationship that one wishes hadn't, went sour, and regretting that maybe the wrong time, maybe the wrong period of life for each individual when it didn't work out. Said it was a good woman. I know he's talking about a meaningful relationship losing, or that it went wrong over a certain amount of time, but it was a good partner. She was a good woman. We don't get from your favorite artists, the hottest guys right now. If you want to read between the lines, the hot who just had some of the biggest projects in the last couple of weeks, very rarely do they talk about love or real relationships or women. Usually it's bitches, hoes, getting my joint, this and this, getting some top, head, whatever. Bought the bitch a bag, this and that. That's what's most commonplace. So to sit here and hear your old Droog talk about a relationship he wishes he would have held on, and the role that a past love played in his life, or maybe even held him down before he blew up when we were back in the song 500. I like the joint. And then it closes with Body Right, Mind Right, another dope track. I got this one highlighted as well. So again, like I said, 5 out of 7 I got highlighted to indicate dope record. This one also closes with his partner in crime, Fahim the God. Of course, number one advice in life: take no one's advice. Something run up the price, and I think that's just reiterates what he's doing with this project. That I'm coming into my own. I'm a hell of a worker. He's a gym rat. All honing his craft and getting better at what he does. And I think the proof is in the pudding here, or whatever. The cream's rising to the top. Like I said, I was thinking earlier too. I don't know what people's listening preferences or music right now. I don't know if past does anybody past the first week? A lot of stuff comes out. Very rarely is it 3 weeks later where I'm listening to an album. Some of these albums I don't even make it through. I don't even make it past the into the second listen. Some of them. I like this bar on here. Some more sage advice, very wise observations. Smart. Sometimes trying to be smarter than the universe, you will always mess you up. I know we throw around started calling genius. These the documentaries out there genius. I don't really want to debate that. But what I'm saying is I think it's a fine line between being smarter than everybody else or doing things smarter than most of your peers. And then when you just think you're smarter than everybody else at that point. But anyway, I like that song. Obviously, the title, Body Right, Mind Right. I dig it. That one was 2 minutes and 53 seconds long. The Lost Love was only 2 minutes and short. Might have only been one verse in Lost Love. But again, man, I like, I said this often. This cat told me this line one time. This trucker that used to pick up some deliveries at my place of employment. He always used to say, I'm not cheap. These projects don't always need to be with a bunch of features and all over the top and real complex. Sometimes something is just done real smart. Keep it simple, keep it moving, keep it short, get in and get out. Sometimes that works. And I think this right here is a project that stands out in everything that I saw released in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And that would be YOD Wave. Shout out to Craven, one of the more consistent beat makers. I had a point in here that I wanted to talk about with the production, some statements I made about Tana Talk 4 and the combination of Beat Butcher and Derringer. I know to say anything, to question anything about those dudes for some people, that's a thumbs down for your video. But Craven, I'm a sample based. I like my tracks to be based off of samples. I think that's the most exciting listening for me. When I hear how a producer, how the sample that they found and what they did with it, how they reworked it, put different parts of the song together to make their song, that's fascinating to me. So I like Craven's production because that's pretty much what he does, and he sticks with his soul and his old cuts, and that works for me. So it's some joints on here that like I said, those 5 records, track 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7. I like the production on those. With that, let me sports entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.